So a little while ago, I made this video about Wuthering Waves and randomly received this comment, PvP win. So to that comment, I responded saying, I don't think you know what you're asking for. Followed up one last time saying maybe I'll make a video on it. Well, Michael Mark Kavita 7979, the time has come. Oil and water, ice cream and heat, MOBAs and noobs, PvPs and gacha games. Name a more toxic duo. I'll wait. It's near impossible to make a PvP gacha game that has room for whales and is free-to-play friendly. In this video, I'm going to explain why and attempt to explore what a gacha game like Wuthering Waves would have to do in order to potentially stand a chance at successfully creating a satisfying PvP experience. First off, creating a gacha game with PvP is really hard. But why? Player satisfaction. It's challenging to make something like this for a number of reasons. Among many, maybe the main reason is that people want a level of fairness when it comes to competition. And there's so much unfairness in the real world. So when it comes to sports, video games, and other for-fun activities, people feel like, why even bother if I don't have a fair shot at victory? Whether someone is free to play, a light spender, or a massive whale, everyone wants to feel like they have a chance and that their efforts to get good actually matter. With the nature of gacha games revolving around power being attached to both cost and luck, it's not exactly a recipe for fairness, and gameplay quickly devolves into pay to win. Imagine being tired of losing, so you finally break and spend $200. Only to lose to someone who spends $2,000 every patch. This was my experience when I played my first pay-to-win game way back in the day. Like I did from that game, many players would quickly quit after realizing they're doomed to lose, making the game an exclusively whale-oriented experience. And eventually, the whales will leave too. Another component of difficulty is legality. Like, would it even be legal to do what it takes to make things work? What I mean is, adding PvP to a game like Wuthering Waves is hard because of the fact it's a live service game. They add new characters and weapons every patch and new equipment every so often as well. But in order for it all to work together, these things will need to be balanced as newer and newer content is added. Some older characters would eventually need to be buffed or nerfed so certain abilities, stats, weapons, etc. don't become overpowered. And there are strict Chinese laws around changing already released content in these types of games. And you can already imagine the outrage if a fan favorite was nerfed. Genshin Impact came under fire a couple months ago for nerfing a character, and like WoWa, it's a PvE game. Chinese players threatened to tell the government, and Hoyoverse quickly removed the changes to appease the outcry and protect their business. So as challenging as it would be to provide player satisfaction and also provide balancing for this addition to the game, how could they do it? Like, if they really tried. We'll get into that in just a second. But first, if you're enjoying this video, please don't forget to like and subscribe because it really helps out the channel and allows me to keep bringing you videos just like this one. So what would they have to do? Well, if we're talking about combat PvP, there are a few things that would need to be addressed. Firstly, the HP situation. The average character in Wuthering Waves has about 15k to 17k HP when fully built. However, a lot of characters can deal way more damage than that with a single ability. So the devs would have to balance the damage dealing capabilities, defense, and resistances specifically for this mode, similar to how they address it in random EVE combat you see in the field. Secondly, character abilities. Enemy abilities and attacks are made to be exaggerated to create an opportunity for players to avoid being hit. However, when it comes to playable characters, a lot of attacks and abilities home into their targets. In our current hypothetical PvP mode, mode, being within range of another player means there's no way to avoid damage. In order to fix this, they'd have to either tone down the homing aspect of player skills and/or create a dodge and parry window for each character's attacks, adding that golden glow of the parry indicator and potentially a stagger bar for each player. There are other obvious but hard to balance things I didn't go into detail on. For example, how might sequence nodes and weapons work in this game mode? Should these aspects be standardized for fairness? And if so, how much? Entirely or not at all? The end result would essentially be them having to create not only an entire new game mode, but new mechanics as well, basically requiring them to make 2 versions of each character, one for this game mode and one for everything else, with the end result being so far removed from the base game experience and the risks associated with creating and maintaining this mode. In the end, a developer would have to ask themselves if the juice was really worth the squeeze. Of course, there are different types of PvP that are more adaptable, such as obstacle course racing, Mario Party style board games, or player versus enemy style PvP. But when people say PvP, it's common to assume they most likely mean an adaptation of the main gameplay experience. And while thought experiments like this one can be cool, I can't see them taking on this kind of risk. But hey, those are just my thoughts. Let me know yours down in the comments below. That is all I have for you today. Thanks for watching. And until next time, I'll catch you in the waves. Peace.